Welcome to Admiral's Play Together Parent Guide. We're going to be using STEP to guide you through adapting activities within your homes. Another area we can focus on is functional ability. This is where we look at what a person can do, not what they can't do. For example, if someone is visually impaired, we can think about sounds and colours that suit that individual. If somebody's deaf or hard of hearing, we can think about ways to communicate with them and show demonstrations. If someone has a physical impairment, think about their range of movement, also how they can propel an object. We also look at textures and what is best for an individual. Can we cover objects in different materials? And finally, the best way to find out someone's functional ability is to ask them questions and to work together to create activities. The first part of STEP is space. This is where we look at what area we're going to play in. So not many people have a huge amount of room in their indoors, so that's why we're going to make the activity fun and safe. This can include target games or hand-eye coordination games. If we're doing a throwing activity, to make it easier, we can move a little bit closer. To make it harder, you can move a little bit further away. If you're moving around your space, you can make the distance shorter to make it possibly easier, or you can make it longer to make it harder. You can also work in quite a narrow area, like this, or you can open it up into a nice wide area and have lots more space to take part in. You can also divide an area up, like so. So you have two sections now, so people can take part in their own areas. And that's space for you. So we're on to task now, which is the second part of STEP. This is where we adapt activities to suit individual needs. So for example, if we're playing a target game, we can kick it, we can throw it, we can roll it, we can also hit it. We can also look at different positions we can play the game in. So we can sit down, we can kneel, and you can sit on the floor as well if you want to. We can also look at changing the rules. So instead of having one target, we can have several targets. So you've got extra ones to try and go for to make it easier for you to get some success. We can also think about the way people move and how we can change that. For example, if you've got a jumping activity and you've got a wheelchair user taking part, can they do something like zigzagging or short, sharp bursts, something that's beneficial to their functional ability? You can also play hand-eye coordination games indoors. So for example, you can use your kitchen table. So if you want to make it easier, you can use a larger object. If you want to make it harder, use something a little bit smaller. All you have to do is adapt it for the individual's needs and the space around you. The third part of STEP is equipment. This is where we look at what we can use to play activities with. So for example, lighter objects. These can give you more time to react, they can give you more control, and if they hit you, it's less impact as well. You've also got objects that are easier to catch. So for example, a flat football, that can actually be easier to grip. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you've got smaller objects. You've also got to think about the brightness of objects as well. So they can make it easier for people to see, but it all depends on what an individual's sight is. You've also got a range of hitting objects as well. So you've got a big ball with a bat. You've got a lighter bat with a small ball. You can also use your hand as well. If we're playing indoors, we can use equipment which is lighter and less likely to break things. We can also use equipment which is easier to grip. So for example, soft cuddly toys or rolled up socks could be much easier for somebody else to hold. And finally, we can also change the texture of an item of equipment. So this could be put in a pillowcase around a balloon. The fourth part of STEP is people. This is where we look at who's playing and how we can make it fair. For example, you can change the number of people in one area. You can also change the number of players on a team. You can make sure the ability of each team is fair. You can also get players working together. And finally, individuals can compete against themselves to try and beat their personal bests. But always remember, ask questions to the person involved and they'll give you the best information about how to adapt activities for them.